worship you, my Lord.
Not everybody can receive this. Okay. For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, meaning there are those that can have kids, or they have congenital issues and things like that. For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth. There are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men, like Daniel, because being part of the entourage, they were castrated. Okay. Who have been made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom.
Where we
the
at?
one who is able to receive this, receive it.
Verse 12,
Okay?
Matthew 19.
Now, Paul made himself a eunuch. Now, he may have been married, but we know that when he was an apostle, he was not married.
He was not married. That's
Right. So, he may have just made himself a eunuch, like John Stott. You ever hear him?
No.
He just died. He made himself a eunuch. He did not marry so he could be a servant of God. It was a choice he made. Okay. Now, C.S. Lewis made a choice to be a eunuch, but then Joy Davidson came into his life and he married her as she was dying. And Gresham, who is involved in the Narnia movies, is his stepson. And he knew what C.S. Lewis was like. So the thing is, what have you received? Have you received the grace to be a eunuch, to make yourself a eunuch?
No.
Okay. That doesn't mean you do a self-castration.
No, I know.
But you restrain yourself. So the issue you have to ask is, have you been given the gift of celibacy, or have you been the gift of marriage? Both are gifts.
Both are gifts, that's right.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just
But
going by what Jesus
so
said.
Paul was saying, not to say that the gifts are better, or which one's worth less and everything like
There
that.
is no better or
No,
worse.
it's not. I mean, well, it's going to sound like it to the way I'm going to put it.
Yeah.
Don't y'all stone me, okay?
Why?
But, okay, at least let me eat another bagel. Let me go out eat.
Look, I gotta get going, but I mean,
All right, but,
I'm waiting.
So it has to do with, so it's more or less, it's better off not to be married, to where you can commit full time, go to ministry aspects and whatnot.
Well, remember, you have a daughter.
And I have a daughter now. And I'll tell you, my commitment now and whatnot, everything else is irrelevant as compared to my daughter.
God requires you to raise your daughter.
That's right.
Now, if a woman comes into your life who's a believer, that's
the biggest thing.
you can't marry an unbeliever.
Oh, no.
Paul made that very clear.
That's right.
You have to marry a believer, because if a woman married a guy before she was a Christian, but he died, she was free. But he says, but in the faith. At the end of 1 Corinthians 7, he made it very, 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 very clear. 1 Corinthians 7, it says, but if her husband dies, she is free to marry to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. Only in the Lord. Only in the Lord. Okay?
Yeah.
So, and that only is very exclusive. She's free to marry whoever she wishes. Well, it's the same with you. If you find somebody and the Lord leads you to marriage. Now, I yearned to be married, so I knew I had the grace to be single.
Well, I
But
yearn to
I'm
be
just
married,
saying, huh?
but not no time soon.
But you never know when God may lead a woman into your life.
Don't go there with me right now.
I'm just saying what the Lord,
I need my pastor to speak for me right now.
and the duty is on you to keep it solid.
Yeah, T.
Hold him accountable.
Thanks, big boss.
But I think you understand what I'm getting at. But see, what Jesus said, Paul's basically doing the same thing. One has a gift of one thing, one has a gift of another. He's referring back to what Jesus said. Even though the Gospels weren't written yet, he still knew what the traditions were, what the oral traditions were before they were written down.
Yeah.
So he's actually using that. But again, that's where you come up with the gift, which could also mean grace.
Grace.
Do you have the grace to be single? Do you have the grace to be married? If you don't have grace for one, you got grace for the other.
got grace
It's one
for
or
the
the
other.
other. You can't
Married
have,
and the burn with passion.
and you can't. It's not a both and. It's neither or.